first thing is conversion software. So what I showed you before lunch with iMovie is to just use the inbuilt kind of conversion and encoding engine that comes with part of iMovie. But there are ones out there that will encode your video into many, many, many different formats, which can be effective in different areas, different things you need to do. Now, the reason we do it is because I call it techno chaos. Again, it's the Tower of Babel story where there are so many different ways to have video out there, whether it's appearing on an iPad or on a desktop or even on a DVD or whatever. There's all these different iterations of it. So having a piece of software that can convert things into many different formats is very helpful. As I said, it prepares you for anything, and you have greater control as well. When I do jobs for clients, I often convert into many different forms. I will make a DVD, I'll make stuff for the web, I'll make stuff for iPhone, and you know, the demand for that kind of thing is growing. You know, you need a small file size, you need a big file size. I did a job for the Athlete's Foot where I made 64 videos in a very short time, and they wanted them all. Well, they wanted them one way, and then they wanted them another way because I was going to an e-learning module. So we had to compress them in one way, and then they were converted, you know, in a bunch of different ways. So that kind of thing is out there, and it'll happen for you guys as well. As I said earlier, you might make something at one point, and then later on go, oh, well, I want this to appear on my magic pen that plays video. You never know what's going to happen. What are those pens called? That's right. So now these are the ones that we use, and again I'll get Rob to talk about what he uses, because he uses a whole other area, which is an online cloud front, which is a very useful thing. So we use one called Visual Hub. It's one of the best ones I've ever used. It's a very simple piece of software, and what you do is you drag your video file in here. So the one we prepared earlier, the one of viral versus branded content, drag it in, and then you can choose your output, what you want it to become. So you say, okay, it's coming as an MP4, I want to make a DVD out of it, or I want to make a WMV file, something that's going to play on a Windows machine, something like that. You can just put it in, you can just do the automated settings that you've got here, so, you know, standard, high, or go nuts. The guy who made this has got a bit of a sense of humor, which is good. And then basically you click go. If you know a little bit more about how to encode, then you can go into the advanced settings, and it says at the top, don't you'll screw it all up. And you can change size on it, you can change the rate at which it streams when it's online, you can change the audio settings, you can limit the size of the file. So I might have a file that's 500 meg or a gig or something like that, and I go, I need to get this onto YouTube, so I want it to be, you know, 100 meg, so it's, you know, easily accessed by a lot of people, because, you know, I might have a fast broadband connection, but someone else doesn't, so we need to try to allow for that kind of incongruity. So that's what we use for Visual Hub. Unfortunately, Visual Hub is not being supported anymore. The guy, I think he's turned into the Unabomber, and he's just gone to live in a hut somewhere and work on his next project. And so if you can get a hold of a copy, it actually, like, if you go into this website, you can actually get the source code if you want to go down that, and then use vworker to get someone to decipher it and build you an engine
Or just
yourself.
look on a torrent site. Torrent sites are a good place. And as the mic runs around, there you go.
There you go. So,
MacOE.com, so MACHOE.com. I actually just did a search on Visual Hub and found it. It's cool. The one on MacOE.com, and they've got it's a download. You need a password that they give you there.
Cool.
Is that the $50 question? No, it's just joking.
yeah.
Do you want? Might be a $5 question. Have you had any money yet? Oh,
You deserve it.
There's actually a companion product to Visual Hub called Audio Hub,
yeah.
which does the same thing for audio files, which is worth getting. Look, it is hard to get, and it's not supported, and it's now 3 years since it's had any development at all, so eventually it's going to go away.
Yeah.
You might want to have a look at a product called Handbrake.
Yeah.
Earlier in the day, Dave was talking about DVD ripping software. Handbrake is actually designed as a ripping product, so you can rip DVDs onto your hard drive, but it also has some fantastic conversion technology built into it as well, and that's a free tool. I'm not sure if there's a PC version, but it's a product I use a lot on the Mac. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And I think it just uses MP4. I think it just encodes into H.264, which is fine.
While Pete's down there with the mic, now might be a good time, since we are talking about encoding. Perhaps you can tell us what you guys do for the challenge.co.